Right, juices in.
Introduce this for the 4th time. Right, this is the Wilmacca podcast with James Irla McAnespy, CEO, head, not CEO?
Founder.
Founder's
privilege.
What's the difference? I don't know the difference.
I don't know. I'll have to just get some lawyers to figure that out.
Alright, founder of New Ireland TV.
It's an extra 5% on my equity.
I am William Devine, head designer of Hang Sandwich. As you said earlier, envious onlooker of the founder of New Ireland TV. All round good guy. Ireland's sweetheart. Bonnie Booby 1985 Newton Stewart Parish winner. Even though it wasn't entered because I'm gorgeous, you know. Anything else you want to add to your tag on to your own name?
So your greatest life achievement, which happened within 365 days of your birth, and it's been downhill ever since, you weren't actually entered into?
No, I wasn't entered into it. Daddy was just like walking past like the fair. You know, they always used to get like a summer day for the whole town, you know, where they had like tug of war and stuff. Yeah, he was just walking past holding me. And he said, I think the priest was judging it. He goes, that kid is the most sexiest kid I've ever seen in my life.
That doesn't mean you won the competition though. See, now your greatest life achievement is now you've got
what do you mean
questions of legitimacy.
What do you mean I didn't win the competition? Because
if you weren't officially entered.
Yeah, but I won it. I had the trophy and everything.
You sequestered the trophy?
As a baby, yes. No, so got that, yeah. Other than that, what's my greatest other achievement?
Well, we got dressed today.
I did get dressed today, yeah. I done a couple of triathlons. That was
Could be anything, BeKind.
Oh, I hate that. That's on the news now about these, the influencers that are going to Dubai and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And how anybody calls them out, they're like, "Hey, remember, BeKind." Tell me, Macca, what is the big topic of the week? What have you noticed in the news this week? You're like you're a tinpot, crackpot crank.
I'm running a tinpot operation. I am a crank.
Yeah, a crank, yeah.
I don't know how to use manual labour tools, so I don't know how good that metaphor is going. But what is happening at the moment, the big news, is the vaccines. So last night, for about an hour and a half, the EU wanted to invoke Article 16. And I'm not entirely sure why it was. They want to stop vaccines getting to Northern Ireland. Is that correct? Yeah,
they wanted to stop vaccines coming from EU countries to go to third countries, like basically it was all the countries, but they had to invoke Article 16 so that it also wouldn't get into England.
So what they were actually, this was actually a move against like Greece or Italy or somebody.
Yeah, it was,
and they just had to apply.
Well, not Italy and Greece, they're in the EU.
No, but that's what I mean. Like, what?
But yeah, it was basically that.
There's no vaccines in Ireland. So why is there a danger that we smuggle to Britain? I don't understand.
It was just a stupid idea. I don't know. I think somebody just came up with the idea in the group, or like it must be the EU group that go over it. But it was just so stupid because there's no vaccines in Ireland anyway. And they weren't going to, and they were never going to go over to. Someone going to smuggle them in a suitcase over to England? Like?
Yeah, exactly.
I think it might have been. Somebody might have thought it was a good idea to try to bring the English government, because they didn't want to talk about this whole, AstraZeneca thing.
Okay, so I think they were just like,
it was like a ploy that was the stupidest idea ever.
Yeah, so
but to be fair, I can see where the EU's coming from, because they don't actually care.
Taking his piece out in the lane.
Yeah,
it's the league game, okay. Yeah, so they're threatening. Well, basically, they were using it as a sort of a threat and a battering ram, and so basically they've undid all the work that they had spent the last 4 years doing in order to protect Northern Ireland's status in the EU. They've just well, I keep using that phrase. They've just completely sabotaged all the goodwill now, because basically this is going to be brought up for the next 2 years anytime, which is better, EU or UK.
Yeah,
it's going to be brought up all the time. It was brought up needlessly. It was brought up callously. It was brought up as a sort of, I don't know, a macho thing or something, just to sort of do this brinksmanship thing. Like, there was absolutely no need to go to that point, even if it was just a threat and it wasn't actually used. Like, you did not need to go to that point. They were already complaining about it.
Yeah, the DUP and Jim Oster already wanted Article 16 invoked.
Yeah, so they did want it invoked.
Yeah.
And then when the EU invoked it, they're complaining that it's an unbelievable act of hostility.
No, they went on, this is hostility or whatever. But that's because they want to get, like, they're losing so much in the whole Brexit thing that they're grabbing onto whatever they want,
whatever straw they can get.
But now they can go and say, oh, well, this is what they have done. Like, we may as well just invoke it now because they'll probably do it again.
Exactly. So, in some... It was probably some fucking careerist little negotiator or something wanted to make a name for themselves, so just put this on a memo, sent it around, and the word got out, and then panic stations hit.
Yeah, well, it was only because it was only a couple of hours, like. So.
Exactly, but it has that particular action has hasn't derailed the United Ireland movement, but certainly we were on a very nice trajectory there, and then out of absolutely nowhere and for no reason. We've been knocked off our momentum.
Yeah. To be fair though, I don't think anything will happen about it, because even if they invoked Article 16, you'd have to put up some kind of border, wouldn't you?
Well, exactly. The whole point of this was to prevent the border, and that the first person to actually, or the first side to actually threaten to invoke it at the EU side.
Yeah, but to be fair, like, the EU's not on our side. Like, the EU's the EU.
Exactly. There is this thing at the moment where people have deified the EU as a sort of infallible, wonderful utopia when it's really not.
No.
And we do have to be aware of that. Ireland has to be aware of that going forward, because now we're back to being just sort of a team in the peloton.
Yeah.
Rather than being the biggest attention. What we need to keep attention on is Macron and France are getting their hands on a lot of the tillers in the EU. So they've got the EU commissioner is German at the minute, but I think most of the other big positions are French people, and Macron has done a lot of that himself, I think. Because Germany doesn't have Merkel going forward, like, the big balance against France was always the UK and Germany, and now Germany's looking a bit weaker for the next few years because it's going to have to find somebody to replace
Merkel.
Yeah, because she is such a titan of European politics.
But I was wondering if whether she is going to completely retire, or do you think she'll be brought into the EU?
Well, she not got health issues.
I think so.
And she has been at the top of politics for about 15, 17 years now.
Yeah. Which
is a long time to be at the very top, like. So I don't know. I think she'll be happy enough just to.
Yeah,
go to her wine vineyard or whatever it is she wants, and go to her Bible studies class in the Christian Democrats or something.
Democrats, I wouldn't say. You know what? I could see big changes, politically in Germany when she stands down.
Well, see, the thing is, this hasn't really come to the fore in Germany yet, but that EU migrant crisis that was happening in the last decade, it was sort of Angela Merkel was keeping a sort of lid on the pressure boiler of that. Like, when that amount of people sort of descend on a country, it is a very scary thing for a country to have to deal with in a very short space of time. Germany, took Germany and Sweden took quite a large proportion of the migrants, and there was a lot of fallout from the culture clash that happened, that took place after that. There was the big New Year's Eve thing, remember?
Yeah.
In Stockholm. So that's going to rear its head now. So we don't know how that's going. Like, now that Angela Merkel, who is a person apart, like, she is just such a huge figure that people would vote for her anyway. Now she's gone. I don't have any insight in this, but like, where will Germany's sort of political thing lie?
I think it might just might. I don't think there'll be like, it's a coalition government anyway, isn't it?
Germany. It's a federal state.
I think it'll be interesting to see what happens in Germany now after this.
Well, see, that's the thing. So they're going to have to now concentrate on their own domestic issues. So they're not really going to be driving the EU agenda as much, which leaves the way open for France with Macron, up for an election next year. He's really going to want to start flexing his muscles. So that's something we need to be aware of going forward. The other thing as well that's probably put panic stations in the EU as well is this thing that's happening in the New York Stock Exchange. Remember, the EU is a capitalist entity, and that's the entire reason for being was to start a trading negotiation between these countries. It is capitalist by design. Right now we're seeing that capitalism is is unsustainable. It's a house of cards that has just been held together by whoever's got the sticky tape.
Yeah, you're talking about this Robinhood app and the Reddit users and the hedge funds.
Gamespot, the Gamespot, and being gamed by Reddit. And I couldn't believe it when I heard it. I laughed my head off.
Yeah, it was hilarious,
And the first thing they did then was Robinhood app stopped taking trades, or what was you said?
The Robinhood, they stopped. They could let people sell their stock because the hedge funds needed it back.
Yeah, they need to. So the hedge funds are contractually obliged to buy back the shares.
They have to buy it back the shares.
So Robinhood is forcing
them to pay a higher price for them back.
Well, see, the thing is, people were holding onto them. Because the longer they hold on to them, then the hedge funds are going to have to pay more and more. So the longer people hold on to them, the hedge funds are getting screwed even harder.
That's because more people were buying them. That's why the more people was buying them, the price went up, and then people were holding them and not selling them, so the price could never go down.
Yeah, exactly.
So then that's why the app stopped people. You could still sell, but you couldn't buy.
So they removed the free market out of the free market economy.
Yeah,
like It is just a protection racket at this point. Like it's so nakedly set up against the benefit of the masses. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know I do sound like a fucking Charles Marx or something, but he's 200 years ahead of this, and he could see it coming 200 years ago.
You know what? See, if you had a bit of charisma online now at the minute, and you had enough people, you could make yourself rich in a day, like no bother. Because I think after that, I was looking to see what else there was, and did you hear about the Dogecoin? Is it Dogecoin?
Dogecoin, they're skyrocketing.
Well, they skyrocketed. It started at, I don't know, something like 0.001, and I think it went up to 0.008. So that's 800% increase in that day. And then by the end of yesterday, it was down to 0.56, because obviously people still are 0.56, because people obviously want to get rich themselves. But the thing about the Reddit one was that they were just having none of it.
Well, see, the Reddit one was actually planned. So apparently there's one user that's been identified who spotted this back in December 2019 or thereabouts, and had told a load of them in this group, I can see this coming, we should buy a load of these and hold them. And it actually turned out, and he apparently in the original post, and I didn't read it, I saw it linked, I should have read it, but apparently the original post, he actually had identified January 2021 as being the point where it would collapse. Like he seemed to see this almost exactly the way it panned out. So there are people who know what they're doing. Like, do you know Christian Bale's character in The Big Short?
Yeah.
It was actually him that when he invested into GameStop, doing the same thing, that's when the rest of Wall Street media started noticing, because he's such a big deal. Like, so he invested in the thingy. And as soon as he did that, then all the attention happened, and then that's when the tipping point happened. That's why the thing blew up so big.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all built on it's the Emperor's new clothes, and we've finally now seen that the Emperor is wearing no clothes, because the stocks and shares are just based on pure imagination, pure speculation, and there's nothing actually being produced. Like, so at least if GameSpot was producing PlayStation 5s, they can at least continue as a going entity if they're selling those for profit. But that's not what stocks and shares are about.
Yeah, it was failing business, about to go bust.
Exactly. Well, that's what they thought. And now what's going to happen is, well, the PlayStation 5 distribution has been such an absolute nightmare. I'm not really looking for one myself, so I don't really mind. But there is still people who have been waiting for about 4 months on a waiting list to get PlayStation 5s in Ireland. I think people are going to go back to, physical media, because there's less of this shit about, for example, Call of Duty. My friends are playing Call of Duty at the minute, and I absolutely hate it, but I'm doing it just because, it's something to do. But those file sizes are about a fifth of the storage space on the PlayStation.
Right.
And then they update like every 3 weeks. So I have to freaking delete everything else off my PlayStation to play this one game that I don't like playing, because of all this, downloads, and I have to be online. So if the internet's down, I can't play it.
Right.
So people are going to go back to physical things. People are going to go back to retro games. People are going to go back to, Nintendo Switch is probably the best console on the market at the minute. I don't have one, but it's the one I want more than a PlayStation 5. Like,
yeah, I think it's just who marketed it. Mass market Switch. Yeah, it's good. Like, really, the thing is too, I don't understand. Obviously, I'm old. I'm an old man. Like, I'm grouchy, I don't have time to be sitting playing a game for 2 or 3 hours a day. Like,
No, not every day.
no, but like people are sitting, are they not sitting playing like Call of Duty for like so long? And you're like, if that was me, like you probably, I wouldn't realise the time. I'd probably sit and play for like 5 hours sitting there.
Red Dead Redemption, I probably played about 600 or 700 hours of.
Yeah, no, I don't have time for that.
Neither do I.
Too busy eating, you know. Huh?
I was sneaking out of work to play it.
You sneaking? You were sneaking. When you say sneaking out of work, you mean working at home and having a second TV beside you?
No, this is when I was doing face to face surveys. And
Right.
I would hit my quota and then just go. I'd hit my quota, like, why, I'm not going to stand out there and waste my time. And that, I got trains to rob and Red Dead.
True. See, in Red Dead, can you actually take a horse onto a train? Like, can you run past and then jump onto the train with your horse?
Not with the horse, but you can jump off the horse onto the train, and then if the train's sitting still, you can get the horse onto the flatbed platform, drive him around.
Fair enough.
It is actually, like, if there is a game you're ever going to get yourself lost in, it is Red Dead Redemption 2. Like, it is just so brilliantly detailed.
To be fair, I got myself lost when I first played Final Fantasy VII for, like, what was it, PlayStation 1? Yeah, I got lost in part of it. I was like, don't know what to say.
Well, I remember Shiny McChrystal used to chat about Final Fantasy VII at the time, and I was like, that sounds shit. And I would see screen caps of it in magazines, and I'm like, ugh, that's too foreign for me. I'm not playing that shit. Give me some FIFA.
FIFA, no, I was too busy playing. We had a PlayStation right now, but we had, remember you used to get the wee spring for it? Remember, like, the console only went when you put the lid down. There's like a wee kind of thing on the lid, so when you put it down, that's when it loaded the CD.
Yeah.
You used to get a wee spring on the back of the lid, and it used to hold it down, so you could put like your ordinary game in. It would load it first. Then when it stopped, you took it out and put like the fake game in, and it played like the fake game that you bought for like £2.
Oh, so you'd buy a dodgy copy of, say, Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
Put in your Final Fantasy official disc. Take it out and then put the
once the PlayStation thing would come up on the TV, that was official. You just take it out and put the other one in.
Well,
though the only thing is about it, that you had to play it with the lid open.
That was alright.
It was alright.
It still worked. Like.
It was fine.
I actually encountered a PS1 yesterday, so my house is finally nearly getting finished after 6 months. We're nearly at the end of all the reparations.
After you tried to burn it down.
After I was nearly burnt down in it. Only that my exquisite Spidersense paranoia came to the rescue.
You're more of your tin pot paranoia. You smelled smoke and you thought that.
Didn't actually smell the smoke.
Did you not?
That's the fucking scary.
Because you had corona.
I'm pretty sure I got corona in December 2019, and I'm suffering ever since from long corona.
2017.
19.
Oh, 19. What you were like the ground zero, were you?
Nature.com, I think, is the name of the website, but they just released a paper saying that by analysing social media, they noticed a massive spike in pneumonia-related tweets and Facebook posts around the EU from around October to December 2019, suggesting that because of that spike and the fact that there might have been a virus going around, COVID might have already been in the EU long before it was discovered in China, which would make a lot of sense to me personally. Like, it validates my paranoia.
You think it was here first?
Well, not necessarily it was here first. I think it was here for a lot longer than people realised before it was discovered. So on Boxing Day, so I had 2 days off last Christmas, at Christmas Day itself and Boxing Day, and I had to go back up to Belfast and work for the rest of the week in Christmas. On Boxing Day, I was just sitting on the sofa, just sweating all day, and I couldn't move. I had no.
I mean, what did you drink on Christmas?
I didn't even drink that much. Like, I was so tired. Like, Christmas Day used to be a day of just solid drinking. Now I can't even do that anymore. Getting liver failure,
liver, brain, heart failure, everything like.
Just the whole genie gig.
Yeah.
So I was just sat there, like, wrapped in a blanket, just trying to sweat a fever out of me. I went up to work, and for the next 3 months at work, there was just this virus going through. Well, there was a cold going around the building, just through because it's a filing cabinet office block.
Right.
The only natural airflow was through the front door at the bottom of the building. You couldn't open the windows or nothing, and everything else was just recycled air. So people would go off for a week, be really sick, come back, and then go off again for another week. This was around January, February. And then, of course, then we found out that the virus was in Italy at this point, and we need to start closing stuff down. So I'm pretty convinced that I've already had COVID, and I'm suffering the long COVID.
Well, I'd say that I think in like the place you were working, there was just a lot of people in their in their 20s and 30s, was there?
Mostly 20s, 30s. So yeah, exactly. Well. So we would have got sick and not really had too much to worry about.
Yeah.
We were all. The thing is, because we were working 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. as well, we were sort of working outside, like normal hours. So we were sort of isolated anyway. Like that became the joke of our team. Is like, by the time you get home, nobody wants to do anything. The pubs are closed, and you're not going to go to sleep for another 3 hours or 4 hours maybe. So you just end up making your own entertainment. So that job totally isolated me anyway. So by the time, self-isolation came around, I was like, this is fucking easy. This is what I've been doing for the last 6 months. Yeah. Now the rest of you get to see what it's like. Except what happened was, the fucking rest of them got fucking furloughed. I had to keep fucking working. So I spent fucking 10 years on the dole with the worst of being furloughed and without any money. You fuckers start whinging because you're getting furloughed. You're getting to stay home all day and you're getting paid for it. And you're whinging.
That's good. Abuse the watchers, Macca.
Abuse the listeners, that's right. Give me something,
well, I wasn't furloughed. I worked straight for,
you had an actual important job too, idiot.
I know. But I didn't mind the lockdown now. Saying that, I did put 2.5 stone on during the lockdown. I'd say I put 2 stone on.
Can you tell me that in non-imperial measurements?
No, I know. What's 2 stone? Let's see, 2 stone, 14. It's £28. £28 divided by 2.2. What's that, like 11.5 or something?
28 divided by 2 is 14.
14. 14, then £12, is it? 12 kilos? So
I nudged 99 kilos at one point.
What?
I think I nudged 99 kilos.
I thought you said you lost 99 kilos. I was like, you got that skin shelf?
99 kilos of pure gold bullion.
So
was worth about £40.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to try. Like I thought I was ready, but it's stone overweight anyway. So I would say I'm probably about 18 kilos overweight at the moment. So we'll see what's happening, but I think it's just during lockdown, because you know what it is? Just boredom. And I don't mind
3 tins every night without thinking about it, like that's the other thing.
But I don't drink. I don't drink.
How about you you drink 2 litres of Coke every day?
Yeah, but not sugar Coke, like sugar free.
That's
Campsie Max or something.
More like dodgy chemicals, that's why. But anyway, I was going to say,
well, that does explain the third ear growing on my back.
The what growing in your back?
Third ear.
Probably does almost. Can you hear through it?
Say it again?
Can you hear through it?
No.
All that hair probably couldn't.
Yeah, don't you hate it when the hair grows out of your ears as you get older? Especially the third ear on your back.
Well, yes, I'm very self-conscious about that, because do you remember when we started school, our vice principal was nicknamed Kaiser because of his resemblance to early 20th century German leaders. But he had quite a large thicket of hair emerging from both ears. I was going to suggest to you, because we're at Pigeon Top, do you want to just describe for our audio listeners what our views are? But then all we can see is steam on the car windscreen.
Yes, it's not good either, because I do know that the Pigeon Top, the car park area itself, was closed because of well, it may have been used as some kind of adult entertainment site, and now we're sitting here in the car and it's all steamed up. I don't know what people are thinking. A few cars have slowed down the way past, saw you, and then was like, nah, we're away here.
And then saw the camera.
Yeah. Yeah, they like more like an anonymous thing than the films, you know.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about that. If a peeler did roll up, it just would look very, very dodgy. I should be wearing my mask if I'm in the car. I should be wearing 2 masks.
Now you're gonna have to cut that out. The manager. I really didn't realised.
But yeah, we're at the top of Pigeon Top. Apparently we can see 7 counties. Well, maybe not 7.
7 counties? No, so we definitely can see what Tyrone obviously we're in.
Yeah. Fermanagh,
Donegal,
Cavan, Donegal.
Derry.
There's 6.
Can we see Monaghan and Cavan? Can we see Cavan?
Well, Monaghan is like 15 miles away though.
Is it? Is it?
Well, 15, 20.
Probably. Well, probably can. I don't know, because I don't really know what's over that side there. But
I was going to say if I had a compass, but I actually do have a compass on my phone.
Oh.
But
you don't have a moral compass, Macca. You don't have a moral compass in life, do you?
So that's north. We're facing north in the car.
Right.
So west, so that's Donegal to our left hand side. So actually that might be Errigal. If we're looking
North Donegal,
slightly north or west,
yeah, it is.
So 344 degrees north is where we're facing. For all you, what do you call them? Orienteering types.
Orienteering.
So if that's east then, so we might be able to see Antrim there.
No, don't think so. Can't see anything east, I wouldn't think. Southeast, Cavan.
See Cavan and Monaghan. Surely if you can see one, you're already seeing the other.
I wouldn't go that far now, no.
Well, we're looking in the wrong direction anyway, so.
Yeah. I can't see anything out the back window.
Yeah, exactly. It's like people who try and reverse with a plane.
What?
Trying to reverse with an airplane, no rear view.
There's the wee one in the middle. They're looking down the whole road.
We attempted to do this podcast outside. I don't know if you can actually hear this, but there's quite a desperate wind that is giving him wind chill factor of again. I can now quote this. But it feels like it's -1. What do you want to guess it was?
Without the wind chill, I would say it was probably about 2 degrees, and then I think with the wind chill, like less.
So apparently it's 3 degrees at the moment. So
right.
You were closer. It feels like -2.
It says feels like -2.
Yeah.
It's right. The wind was ridiculous. It's a storm Justine. Storm Justine.
Yep. Snoop Doggy Dogg's going to do a massive ad with her Storm Justine. Somebody say Justine.
I love that part where he's like, my flyby with my fried rice, right? You're like, what did you get for this?
I was literally about to say, I know his rates. He will do a rap, like he will write a rap verse for $5,000.
Yeah,
which seems like quite low.
Remember your fella from what was that rap band? Something 7 or something 6 or something. Your fella, what?
Wu-Tang Clan?
No, what do you call the Slim Shady fella? Eminem.
Oh yes, D12.
D12. Do you remember there was a fella in D12 that was like charging $500 a verse or something, that he'd write a verse for you?
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah.
$500 is well cheap though. Because you could probably sell 500 copies of the record just on the strength of it.
Yeah, but that was just like one verse of a rap.
Yeah, but that's exactly. So people would have bought that because they were fans of his.
I prefer a bit of Irish rap myself. Do you have any, Macca?
Yes, I do. This is Gucci rap. This is culture rap for smoking a spliff when you're hitting the diff. So turn up the bass on the Byron. We'll have another go when you're out on it. I'd like to welcome all you to the wild, wild west, a place that's untouchable like your my sister. Yeah, I've lost it.
You never had it, Macca? Never had it?
Never had it.
That was quite good.
There is actually a lot of Irish rap happening at the moment. Denise Chaila being the sort of leading one. I think we need to come up with a name for that particular genre. I want to suggest quaalude.
Quaalude.
What do you reckon?
I always say do, but
or hip Ceol. Ceol hip. Ceol hop.
Ceol hip.
Ceol hop with a fat above the O.
What, just to...
Because then it doesn't actually mean anything, but it looks more convenient.
That's true. I don't know, actually. I'm trying to think.
Why don't you text in? Text us 150. Tell us what you think the new Irish hip hop genre should be called. Number down here.
We could call it, well, there's already dubstep, so we could call it Carry Step. I don't know.
Dubstep?
Dubstep, I know. Dubstep, I can't believe it's still around, you know. The only people that's keeping that alive is YouTubers, eh?
Because see, a lot of electronic music just becomes quite lucrative just by being background music.
Yeah.
And for TV and screen work. Like funky house music was really big in like the mid 2000s.
I do like a bit of funky house music.
I got really into it. Well, I didn't get really into it. I didn't really like electronic music, and that was sort of easier to get into.
Did not? I didn't. No, I quite like. See, I like electronic music because I like really annoying sounds. Like,
is that how you put up your own voice?
It is pretty annoying. I do have a high-pitched voice. It sounds like Alvin the Chipmunks, but if they're on helium. And
quaaludes.
Oh my god, I love the quaalude, hey? I'm sure that now.
Well, Marty's the
Can you? But you
glorified
can't.
drug dealer.
They don't make them anymore. They not stop making them in the 80s. Or something called like according to that Wolf of Wall Street or something.
Well, yeah, because somebody said that on the Blood and Mud podcast there yesterday, which is a rugby podcast, that they'd stopped making quaaludes.
Yeah, they stopped making them. That's why they got so rare and so expensive, and all the rich on swallow. You know, the more
If you
rare.
know how the recipe is,
Now that we know the recipe.
you can go back.
Oh yeah, that was not the 9 o'clock news.
Mr. Rowan Atkinson.
Rowan Atkinson, yeah. So, aye.
Do you reckon he can come on the station?
Rowan Atkinson. I don't know. He seems
He's a free
bit
speech
of
advocate, so he might.
He's a free speech advocate, but he also sounds like a bit of a crank, like yourself, to be honest with you.
Well, see, I totally agree, which is why you'd be a great guest. But people like that are actually quite interesting if they actually can articulate their. And he is a very articulate person.
Yeah, I think I'm more articulate when it comes to writing than speaking.
I'm probably the same.
I know.
Which is why I'm on a podcast and video
Yeah.
medium rather than actually writing, because writing is shit.
I like writing.
It's not the writing. It's
Not writing.
sitting
writing.
in your own the whole time. Again,
It's fine.
that's because you're a freak though. I'm less of a freak. I am a freak, but you know.
You're our freak?
because I was diddled.
You're our freak.
Exactly. I'm only a freak because I was diddled. Like, I'm not a natural
Well,
freak.
to be fair.
You were born into it.
To be fair, you don't actually know if you were or were not
No, it's true.
diddled as a child going for your swimming lessons, of which you can't remember any of the 3 years that you went.
This is all factual. So if you want to validate my paranoia, text us 150.
Micah, I believe the only reason you can't remember it is because you were that one kid that jumped into the swimming pool when the window was left open all weekend. There was a sheet of ice on top of it.
I remember that story. Is that real?
Nah, it's definitely an urban legend. Hey, that's bullshit.
But I've not thought about that for like 20 odd years. That story until you just mentioned it there.
Yeah, like
I do remember hearing about that.
Yeah, there's a I don't believe it. Like, I've never believed it.
Well, it would have to be extremely cold for a pool in an indoor building to have frozen over just in the base of one
weekend.
open window. Yeah,
I know, but like not the whole pool, just like the top layer, and then people were jumping in,
but
breaking like the wee top bit of ice.
For the environmental temperature to create a fucking layer of ice. And do they not drain the pool as well? Well, no, they don't. That place was fucking disgusting. They didn't even use chlorine, or if they did, it was just to they'd get a bottle of bleach and just pour it into the spot where they just fished out
the shit.
The shit. That was their hygiene standards in that place.
You're saying what you want though? I would still go.
Well, why did we have to go to that one? There was a perfectly good leisure centre, like about 400 metres away. We could have also went to that had actually swimming, at a deep end, so you actually got a better swimming lesson.
I assume that this pool was owned by the education authority or whatever it was.
Well,
at the time.
I was just thinking about this recently.
Western Education?
I don't remember seeing the Western Education Library Board sign outside the front of it. It was right in front of
Maggie,
the
you can't remember going.
Well, I can remember going. I can remember, like, the changing room. I can remember lining up.
Right.
As they checked to see if we were dry enough.
Ah, okay, yeah.
And then it sort of gets hazy. So either I woke up or I have, deep mental trauma.
I would say...
One of the two?
I would say you've got deep mental trauma. It would explain a lot.
It would certainly explain a lot, yeah.
Yeah, I think on that bombshell we should end, Macca.
37 minutes.
37 minutes and we'll...
The Wilmacca podcast. Should we do this once a month?
I'm gonna, you know what, I'm gonna have dreams about you getting diddled.
Nice, you're welcome.
As long as you don't become one of those people that got diddled and then becomes the diddler, not the diddly.
The diddly becomes the diddler.
Do you like a bit of diddly? I like a bit of diddly music.
Diddly-dee.
Yeah.
Definitely not become a diddler. I will retain my diddly status and wear it like a badge.
A badge of
shame, because obviously
because you've got that deep-seated Catholic guilt.
Catholic shame.
That's true.
So I've got that shit going through my fucking mental psychology as well. And then have you met my fucking family?
I like your family. You're the black sheep of the family, though.
Yeah, true.
The black diddled sheep.
Yeah, well, I did actually say to them, "Here, I'm a freak, haven't I?" Last night. I just wanted a joint for them.
Oh my god.
But in my defence, right, the last room that has been done is the room I've been spending all my time out of the way, having my toke. And now the room is now fucking, I can't move in it. Like, I can't even find a flat surface to roll a reefer on. And I can't fucking sit down anywhere. So I said, right, fuck it.
You're not aware this is being recorded on several devices.
I'm very aware. This is part of New Ireland TV. I don't believe that recreational marijuana use should be illegal. And this is me. Our only weapon is our refusal.
Yeah, it's true.
So this is me refusing. Just like Nicola Sturgeon.
Yes, you're Nicola Sturgeon.
Yeah, while she's in the prison cell, I'll be outside the window with a sympathy toke. We're all trying to do our bit here, Nick.
when she's getting escorted out to get her head chopped off by the British Empire,
yeah,
and get drawn and quartered, and body parts sent to the four corners of the empire.
I'll be there underneath the guillotine with my bong.
Because you're a true patriot.
Freedom, Nicola. Freedom.
Right, anyway, hey. We'll say that this will be the 1 monthly Wilmacca podcast.
So at the end of the month we'll have a look through the previous month and what's going on.
We had several issues we could have talked about today, but
well, the whole of January 2021, all of geopolitics has fucking just been disrupted, destroyed.
Yeah.
But we'll see what we're like at the end of February. So 20th of February, 27th, 28th, whatever the weekend is.
Yeah. It's not a leap year, is it?
No. That was last year, we missed that one. Bastards.
Right. What's our sign off? Give us a catchphrase to sign off.
Wilmacca podcast. Wilmacca. Shall see you soon.
EU soup?
Shall EU soon. See you soon. Smell you later.
Right. See ya.